Join the resistance.
The Watchers. Disclaimer. I totally believe in God. Not so much in man, however. At the same time, I could entirely be just crazy. Just crazy would be an incredible relief right now. But my research keeps proving that I am not in fact crazy, and that the truth is in fact much darker and more disturbing than most of us can even begin to understand. What if angels were genetically designed cyborgs, built for interstellar battlefield superiority? Part flesh and blood, part Terminator. Custom built for universal interplanetary combat and amphibious to the vacuum of outer space. A sort of living spaceship and mechanized soldier, all in one. What would they look like? This show contains some photographic, anecdotal, and circumstantial evidence that I myself have collected that testifies to the true nature of this phenomenon. In January 2017, all of a sudden, my chest began to hurt. I couldn't breathe, my sight began to darken, and my ears started ringing with this high-pitched whine, and the unmistakable sound of a train that I have since heard several times and recorded as well. This is what I remember happening between the time I lost consciousness and when I woke up in the hospital to the biggest needle I've ever seen. It's burned into my brain, and I'll never be able to forget it. Face to face with an 8-foot-tall, big black angel with eyes just like that of a gray alien. The almond-shaped, glossy, black eyes that everyone knows of the gray alien. They also reflected a sort of honeycomb grid-like pattern from certain angles. He was covered in shiny black armor, glossy, thick black armor that I later realized was actually his wings wrapped around the front of his chest. The wings were very bat-like, bat-shaped rather. He looked tough, like the skin of a shark, man. He appeared both concrete, as if you could touch him, and photon-based, similar to a ghost, translucent. He appeared several different locations simultaneously. He told me that he was a watcher, and that his name was Lucifer. He was very charismatic and friendly, understanding, yet obviously evil. You could sense it. He felt like sadness and aloneness. He was extremely high-tech, extremely intelligent, and was obviously buttering me up, considering he was far more intelligent than I am, but he kept telling me things like that I was dangerous to their cause, that I knew too much, that I was too intelligent, which is ridiculous. He told me that I had been there 3 times before, and he gave me 2 options, both of which included a sort of selfless suicide, according to him, where my organs would be used to save the lives of others. He offered me eternal life, and also confirmed that Jesus was in fact the Son of God. I know how this sounds. When I looked at my cell phone after all this happened, first thing I did was Google what watchers look like, trying to prove to myself that it was just a hallucination. I had never seen a description of what watchers supposedly look like before that day. People have seen these things all over the planet. The same big black winged creatures, intimidating, 8 foot tall, sometimes larger, extremely intelligent, horns, armor, wings, the whole 9 yards. Everything that he said was in lockstep with the theme of Genesis, the Old Testament. I feel like when I think of an angel, I think of something ethereal, spiritual, ghostly. But that may be wrong. They may, in fact, be just as concrete, flesh and blood, nuts and bolts as we are. Just extremely high on the technological spectrum. Reminded me of a cross between the alien from Independence Day and a transformer. Looked very much like the Black Knight satellite, the infamous Black Knight satellite. I lost 2 days where I still don't know exactly where I was. I also woke up with these strange markings on my chest that lasted over a year. 2 doctors, in fact, I showed them to, and neither one could confirm what it was. But they do resemble pictures on Google of radiation burn. Also on my cell phone was a video of myself videotaping something in the woods, and then looking straight up into a bright white searchlight in the sky, and the video stopped. There were sound recordings of what sounded like a train, and then the echo of human screams, and the sound of someone moaning, or groggily waking up from anesthesia, all of which were extremely terrifying to listen to, and have since been remotely deleted from my smartphone. I've literally watched my phone screen while the phone automatically opened its gallery and deleted these files all by itself. I managed to burn a bunch of these files to a couple of DVDs that I put in 2 very safe places. So safe, in fact, I can't get to them just yet, but I will. We know that the government has been easing us into the ideas of alien life by predictive programming in movies and pop culture, with movies like The Abyss, Independence Day, Close Encounters, E.T., etc. We also know about DARPA's research into programmable matter technology, i.e. transformer technology. In the Arecibo crop circle, the aliens that responded claimed that they shared all the same elements to their chemistry that humans do, +1. They are carbon-based plus silicon. Silicon is the main element used in electronics and computer technology, meaning that they have most likely merged with their technology, as we are experimenting with now. They are most likely cybernetically integrated flesh and blood creatures, which is a lot what this Watcher looked to be. The idea that angels and demons and even God are technologically superior nuts and bolts, flesh and blood creatures is nothing new. This is the basis of von Daniken's ancient astronaut theory you see featured on Ancient Aliens. Angels could in fact be creatures on the highest end of the technological spectrum, but God, the real God, would exist both within and outside and above this matrix that he created. God would be both the creator and therefore the code or operating system of the world he created. A sort of chief engineering programmer of this simulation we call reality. What would make a video game more realistic than if you never even knew you were playing it at all? My point is, God himself would not need advanced technology to move and change things in his creation. That being said, since God made everything, he also made these high-tech angels at the top of the technological food chain. It only makes sense that God would choose these creatures to accomplish the greatest of his missions and duties, as they would be the best equipped. Just because angels may exist as part of the concrete matrix in which we all do, does not mean that there isn't an all-powerful creator God in charge of everything. I personally subscribe to that God myself. Please subscribe to me. Until next time, remember to stay vigilant, keep your eyes to the sky, and enjoy the revolution. On Resistance Radio TV, Chuck Black. Please subscribe.